Hi. If I was to tell you that you had 45 minutes starting from now to finish an exam, what would your first response be? How about if I told you that you have 1 week to complete a 2,000-word essay on any given topic? Well, if you're anything like me, my process is clearly broken down into 3 easy-to-follow steps. Step 1. Faff around for an hour reading and rereading the assessment task question over and over and over again. The key points to this step are to not actually take anything in and transition from an internal dialogue to physically reading the question out loud again and again with an ever-increasing volume. This step is greatly aided by the rhythmic, bordering neurotic clicking of a pen. Step 2. Denial of the task. Put it off. Make a coffee. Check the socials. Have another coffee. Consider rereading the question again. Look for the clicky pen to aid in the reading of the question. Make another coffee. Wonder why you're beginning to feel the onset of an anxiety attack. It definitely has nothing to do with the 3 back-to-back double espressos you just downed, so don't worry about them. Have another one. Step 3, and this is, without a doubt, the hardest of all 3 steps. Write down the first line of the essay. Title page format and font selection aren't crucial here, but if you're still in the transitional phase between steps 2 and 3, it is an excellent bridging step to help you ease into the real work. So, why do I go through this horrific downward spiral every time I prepare for an assessment task? Stress. Stress is that lovely little thing that some people will insist is a necessary component of just getting the job done. However, in an education setting, it is, to me at least, far from helpful. Looking at stress from a neurological angle, stress disrupts the brain's learning circuits and diminishes memory construction, storage, and retrieval. Stress impairs the function of the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain associated with cognitive function. Not only does it stop the thinking portion of your brain, it also strengthens the emotional and habitual responses of the amygdala, the part of the brain that processes fearful and threatening stimuli. Done, brain. You have successfully failed. I have given you a problem, and instead of trying to solve it, you deny access to the parts of the brain that would be helpful in solving this problem, and instead insist I faff around and look for that darn clicky pen. Now, I am an adult. I pay taxes, I have a mortgage, and a child. I should know how to deal with stress, but sometimes it still gets the better of me. Now, if that is the rational response of an educated adult studying at a master's level in university, add to that the stress of social struggles and puberty that our high school students are going through. This leads me to the main topic of this video: how to reduce exam stress of students. Judy Willis suggests that reducing exam stress is best approached in a preventative manner by applying deeper learning practices prior to the exams. Deeper learning is achieved by engaging students in authentic performance tasks and project-based learning. This helps to deepen their understanding at both factual and conceptual levels. The more personally meaningful the task, the more durable the memory network. The more durable the memory network, the easier the retrieval of information. I don't honestly think if I was presented any of the exams that I took in high school today for science or humanities that I would be able to pass. Most of the information that I learnt for those exams was rote memory and quickly discarded after the fact. However, ask me any questions you like about the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, a subject that has greatly fascinated me from my very first viewing and to which I have established many meaningful and personal connections. I would pass 100% without breaking a sweat. Why? Because I related to the stimulus and was able to create a strong, durable memory network associated with that subject and can recall seemingly useless information regarding that topic at the drop of a hat. A practical approach that can be taken in addition to deeper learning is to build the student's positive mindset. Just like the little red caboose, these students need to think they can. Building the positive mindset can be done simply by taking the pressure off the students. Help them by sharing frequently made errors from previous exams. Remind them that failure isn't final. Share stories about the likes of Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, both of whom are some of the most successful failures in the world. As Albert Einstein said, failure is just success in progress. Although deeper learning and positive thinking are helpful, we can't forget about our little friends from earlier. I am of course talking about the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Unfortunately, The fight or flight responses may have already kicked in leading up to the exam. So, how do we help students combat this? Give the students a little dose of dopamine. Dopamine is a handy little chemical which enables successful cognitive control in the prefrontal cortex, helping with the brain's relay, making retrieval of information much easier. Not only that, but it elevates the associative learning processes of the amygdala, especially those involving behavioral responses to rewarding stimuli. So, how do we give our students dopamine? Make them laugh. The chemical release of dopamine in the brain can be triggered by laughter and humour. So tell a joke. Play a funny YouTube clip. Play a quick game before the test. Do anything that you can to put a smile on their face. Another way to release dopamine is by playing music. Brain imaging studies have found that listening to pleasurable music helps to increase dopamine. But use this with caution, as pleasurable music is a highly subjective term. Remember, one person's Queen is another person's Miley Cyrus. I hope that this short video has been helpful for you, and that there is something that you can take away from this either in your own personal study habits or into your career as a teacher. Just remember, the feelings and responses that you face when you are stressed are not unique to you and are most likely shared by your students. So, to help your students avoid the 3-step approach to completing assessment, just remember the 3 Ds. Do deep learning, develop a positive mindset, and dish out some dopamine. Be on the lookout for signs of stress prior to or during an exam. While knocking back espresso during a school exam is highly unlikely, you may be able to witness the students beginning the FAF process and reaching for that clicky pen. In any case, do what you can to help reduce the stress and open up the pathways of the prefrontal cortex so that all students are able to succeed. Thanks.